ऑपरेशन सिंदूर इंडियाज न्यू नॉर्मल हा कार्यक्रम ज्ञानयज्ञ फाउंडेशन आणि रुद्र नॅनोटेक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड यांच्या सहकार्याने आपल्यासमोर सादर होता है।
मंच पर स्वागत है आज के कार्यक्रम के प्रमुख अतिथि, पूर्व प्रमुख सलाहकार रक्षा मंत्रालय, पूर्व सैन्य सलाहकार, राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा परिषद सचिवालय, पूर्व महानिदेशक रक्षा खुफिया एजेंसी माननीय लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल विनोद जी कंधारे सर का। मंच पर स्वागत है आज के कार्यक्रम के प्रमुख अतिथि, DRDO के प्रख्यात वैज्ञानिक, आकाश प्रणाली के निर्माता एवं परियोजना निर्देशक, पद्मश्री पुरस्कार से अलंकृत माननीय डॉक्टर प्रहलादा रामाराव सर का। मंच पर स्वागत है आज के कार्यक्रम के विशेष अतिथि, भारतीय थल सेना छत्रपति संभाजीनगर स्थित 97 आर्टिलरी ब्रिगेड के कमांडर माननीय ब्रिगेडियर वीरेंद्र सिंह सर का। आज के कार्यक्रम के दूसरे विशेष अतिथि, भारतीय थल सेना छत्रपति संभाजीनगर स्थित 7 गर्ल्स महाराष्ट्र बटालियन के कमांडिंग ऑफिसर माननीय कर्नल MC अयप्पा सर का हम स्वागत करते हैं। स्वागत है मंच पर उपस्थित आज के कार्यक्रम के स्वागताध्यक्ष, प्रमुख प्रबंध निदेशक, केयर सिग्मा हॉस्पिटल छत्रपति संभाजीनगर माननीय डॉक्टर उन्मेश जी टाकळकर सर का। आप सभी माननीय अतिथियों का ज्ञान यज्ञ फाउंडेशन, रुद्र नैनोटेक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड और छत्रपति संभाजीनगर के सभी देशभक्त श्रोताओं की ओर से हम हृदय की गहराइयों से स्वागत करते हैं। मंचासीन सभी मान्यवरों से हम नम्र निवेदन करते हैं कि कृपया दीप प्रज्वलित कर कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करें। आप सभी को 15 अगस्त के दिन हुए स्वाधीनता दिन की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। भारत स्वाधीनता के 79वें वर्ष में प्रवेश कर चुका है। आज हम ऐसे भारत को देख रहे हैं जो अभूतपूर्व बदलाव के मंथन से गुजर रहा है और इस मंथन से प्राप्त अमृत रूपी नए सशक्त, स्वाभिमानी और आत्मनिर्भर होने के पथ पर है। ऐसे भारत के हम साक्षी हैं। हम आज ऐसे भारत में है जो संवेदनशील है, जो विश्व का एकमात्र राष्ट्र है, जो वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की सोच रखकर उसी का आचरण करना जानता है। हम आज ऐसे भारत में है जो नई ऊर्जा, नए सामर्थ्य के साथ विश्व की तीसरी बड़ी महासत्ता बनने के पथ पर तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है। हम आज ऐसे भारत में है जो अपने वजूद की उद्घोषणा बुलंदी से करना जानता है। ऐसे तेजस्वी राष्ट्र को, इस राष्ट्र की रक्षा करने वाले हर एक सैनिक को, राष्ट्र निर्माण में अपना योगदान देने वाले हर एक व्यक्ति को हम शतशः नमन करते हैं। आज के हमारे सभी अतिथि देश रक्षा परम पुण्यम, देश रक्षा परम व्रतम, देश रक्षा परो यागः, देश सेवा रतो भवेत, इस भाव से राष्ट्र समर्पित कार्य कर रहे हैं। इसलिए निश्चित ही आज के इस कार्यक्रम से हम ऊर्जा और प्रेरणा लेकर राष्ट्र निर्माण में अपना योगदान देने का प्रयत्न करेंगे। सालों पहले स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने सभी देशवासियों को और विशेषकर युवाओं को आह्वान किया था कि देश निर्माण में भागीदार बनने के लिए आप अपना योगदान दीजिए। सन 2022 में स्वाधीनता के अमृतकाल पर्व में हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने भी सभी देशवासियों के सामने यह आह्वान किया कि देश के पुनर्निर्माण के हेतु और सन 2047 तक विकसित भारत का लक्ष्य हासिल करने के लिए आप अपना योगदान दीजिए। स्वामी विवेकानंद जी के विचारों से प्रेरित होकर और माननीय पंतप्रधान नरेंद्र जी मोदी जी के आह्वान को प्रतिसाद देने के लिए सन 2022 में यानी स्वाधीनता के अमृतकाल में ज्ञान यज्ञ फाउंडेशन इस सेवाभावी संस्था की स्थापना हुई और ज्ञान यज्ञ फाउंडेशन ने व्यक्ति निर्माण से राष्ट्र निर्माण यह गंतव्य सामने रखकर पद्म फेस्टिवल इस वार्षिक कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत की। गत 3 सालों से पद्म फेस्टिवल का आयोजन छत्रपति संभाजीनगर में हो रहा है। इस साल नवंबर में पद्म फेस्टिवल का 4th संस्करण संपन्न होगा। पद्म फेस्टिवल में भारत सरकार द्वारा पद्म पुरस्कार से सम्मानित मान्यवरों को आमंत्रित किया जाता है और साक्षात्कार या संवादात्मक सत्रों के माध्यम से इन मान्यवरों के विचार, उनके कार्य और उनका संघर्ष छात्राओं एवं समाज के विविध स्तर के श्रोताओं के सामने रखा जाता है। हर वर्ष पद्म फेस्टिवल में हम प्रयास करते हैं कि पद्म पुरस्कार की 9 श्रेणियों में से हर एक श्रेणी के कम से कम एक मान्यवर को हम आमंत्रित करें। अब तक संपन्न हुए 3 पद्म फेस्टिवल में 3 पद्म विभूषण, 5 पद्म भूषण और 24 पद्मश्री पुरस्कार मान्यवर सम्मिलित हुए हैं और उन्होंने छत्रपति संभाजीनगर में आकर छात्राओं के सपनों को सशक्त करने का, उनका आत्मविश्वास जागृत करने का, उनको राष्ट्र निर्माण में अपना योगदान देने के लिए मार्गदर्शन किया है। पद्म फेस्टिवल के समारोप सत्र में हम छात्राओं को मार्गदर्शन देने हेतु सेवारत लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल, वाइस एडमिरल आदि स्तर के रक्षा दल के वरिष्ठ अधिकारियों को आमंत्रित करते हैं। 22 अप्रैल को पहलगाम में हुआ बर्बरता से भरा आतंकवादी हमला और उस हमले के बाद 6 मई की रात 7 मई की सुबह भारत ने अपने सामर्थ्य के साथ इस आतंकवाद के हमले को दिया करारा जवाब। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हमने देखा। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर से भारत ने विश्व को दिखा दिया कि भारत अगर विश्व को शांति का संदेश देने वाले गौतम बुद्ध का देश है तो भारत परकीय आक्रमणों, आतंकवादी विचार रखने वालों के खिलाफ युद्ध नीति सिखाने वाले छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज और महाराणा प्रताप जैसे वीरों का भी देश है। कौटिल्य नीति और चाणक्य नीति से ज्ञान लेकर उस ज्ञान का उपयोग कर ऑपरेशन सिंदूर को विशेष बनाया गया। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर नाम से लेकर हर एक काम तक विशेष था। अपने असीम शौर्य का प्रदर्शन दिखाने वाला ऑपरेशन सिंदूर अब भारत की आतंकवाद के खिलाफ की गई एक नीति है। इसीलिए यह अब भारत का न्यू नॉर्मल है और यह विराम है, पूर्ण विराम नहीं है। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर ने दिखा दिया कि जब देश एकजुट होता है, राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि होता है, तो फौलादी फैसले लिए जाते हैं और परिणाम लाकर दिखाए जाते हैं। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में इस्तेमाल किए गए आकाश मिसाइल के जनक डॉक्टर प्रहलादा रामाराव सर और ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान रक्षा मंत्रालय के प्रमुख सलाहकार रह चुके माननीय लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल विनोद जी खंदारे सर, इनको छत्रपति संभाजीनगर में निमंत्रित कर इनका सम्मान करने हेतु और भारत की सामरिक शक्ति और बदली हुई नीतियाँ, इन विषयों पर प्रकाश डालने हेतु ज्ञान यज्ञ फाउंडेशन ने इस विशेष कार्यक्रम का आयोजन किया है।
श्री प्रज्वल मिठावालाजी यांना विनंती करतो की डॉक्टर प्रल्हादा रामाराव यांचे स्वागत करावे।
मुख्य कार्यक्रम की ओर बढ़ने से पहले हम 2 वीडियो क्लिप्स देखेंगे। पहलगाम हमले के बाद हमारे पंतप्रधान नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने आतंकवादी और उनको आसरा देने वाले, उनको ताकत देने वाले सभी को कड़ी भाषा में जो इशारा दिया था या चेतावनी दी थी, वह वीडियो क्लिप हम स्क्रीन पर देखते हैं।
साथियों, 22 अप्रैल को जम्मू कश्मीर के पहलगाम में आतंकियों ने मासूम देशवासियों को जिस बेरहमी से मारा है, उससे पूरा देश व्यथित है। कोटि कोटि देशवासी दुखी हैं। सभी पीड़ित परिवारों के इस दुख में पूरा देश उनके साथ खड़ा है। साथियों, इस आतंकी हमले में किसी ने अपना बेटा खोया, किसी ने अपना भाई खोया, किसी ने अपना जीवन साथी खोया है। ये हमला सिर्फ निहत्थे पर्यटकों पर नहीं हुआ है, देश के दुश्मनों ने भारत की आत्मा पर हमला करने का दुस्साहस किया है। मैं बहुत स्पष्ट शब्दों में कहना चाहता हूं, जिन्होंने ये हमला किया है, उन आतंकियों को और इस हमले की साजिश रचने वालों को उनकी कल्पना से भी बड़ी सजा मिलेगी, सजा मिलकर के रहेगी। अब आतंकियों की बची खुची जमीन को भी मिट्टी में मिलाने का समय आ गया है। 140 करोड़ भारतीयों की इच्छा शक्ति अब आतंकी आकाओं की कमर तोड़ कर रहेगी। फ्रेंड्स, टुडे फ्रॉम द soil of Bihar, I say to the whole world, India will identify, track and punish every terrorist and their backers. We will pursue them to the ends of the earth. India's spirit will never be broken by terrorism. Terrorism will not go unpunished. Every effort will be made to ensure that justice is done.
6 मई की रात और 7 मई की सुबह को भारत ने ऑपरेशन सिंदूर नामक जिस ऑपरेशन की शुरुआत की थी, वह ऑपरेशन 10 मई की शाम को स्थगित किया गया। वही ऑपरेशन सिंदूर की भारतीय थल सेना की वेस्टर्न कमांड यानी पश्चिमी कमान ने बनाई हुई वीडियो क्लिप के कुछ अंश अब हम स्क्रीन पे देखेंगे।
22 अप्रैल 2025 वो काला दिन जब चंद आतंकवादियों ने खुशियों भरे पहलगाम को खून की बारिश में भिगो दिया। गोलियों की आवाजों में बिखरते हुए सिंदूर की चीखें सुनाई दे रही।
Open fire on tourists in Jammu and Kashmir. The attack occurred in Pahalgam, a popular tourist destination.
26 people have been killed.
जिन्होंने ये हमला किया है, उन आतंकियों को उनकी कल्पना से भी बड़ी सजा मिलेगी।
ऑपरेशन सिंदूर की अदृश्य ताकत स्टेट ऑफ आर्ट लॉजिस्टिक्स यानी कि आधुनिक संभार था और इसका प्रत्यक्ष रूप अनगिनत मिसाइलों का प्रचंड प्रहार था। यह ललकार थी भारतीय सेना के शक्तिबोध को और इसी ललकार का प्रतिकार था ऑपरेशन सिंदूर। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर एक ऐसा अचूक प्रहार था जिसमें शामिल संपूर्ण देश के प्रतिशोध का विचार था।
Our response to his attacks on our posts was very violent, and our strikes on the air bases were very precise again and very accurate. And as you know, just about 24 hours after that, begged for the cessation of hostilities.
Detachment, target, southeast, speed, 200.
एयर डिफेंस की शक्तिशाली ढाल थी, वहीं दूसरी ओर ये जीत नारी शक्ति की भी मिसाल थी। और इन सब के साथ चलती हुई हर सैनिक के बुलंद हौसलों की चाल थी। दुश्मन का दिल दहलाने धड़धड़ाते टैंकों की धड़क थी, वहीं दूसरी ओर आर्टिलरी की तोपों की तैयारी सबसे पुख्ता और कड़क थी। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में जहां एक ओर सीनियर कमांडर्स का तजुर्बा था, वहीं दूसरी ओर ये सरहद पर डटे हर सैनिक का जज्बा था। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर यंग ऑफिसर्स के नेतृत्व की अग्नि परीक्षा भी थी और सरदार साहिबानों के अनुभव का ऐलान। ये सिर्फ भारत की सेना की ही नहीं, देश की हर बहू बेटी के सिंदूर की भी जीत है और भारत के हर बड़े बूढ़े और बच्चे का सम्मान भी। लेकिन अभी के लिए यह आक्रमण बस पर्याप्त है, समाप्त नहीं। तैयारी अभी भी जारी है और अब की तैयारी पहले से ज्यादा भारी है। हौसलों के साथ साथ अब ड्रोन्स का सैलाब होगा। हर एक नापाक मिसाइल के बदले भारत के ब्रह्मास्त्र का जवाब होगा। हर टैंक का लक्ष्य सिर्फ तेरा विध्वंस होगा। अब की युद्ध ऐसा होगा कि तेरा बचा न कोई अंश होगा। आधुनिक तकनीकों का ऐसा मायाजाल बनकर आएगा, हर मिसाइल का हमला तुझ पर तेरा काल बनकर आएगा। हर सैनिक तेरी मौत बनेगा और तुझे सिंदूर के माने समझाएगा। क्या धर्म है भारत की सेना का, ये भारत का हर फौजी तुझको बतलाएगा। और इसके लिए तैयारी अभी भी जारी है और अब की तैयारी पहले से ज्यादा भारी है। कान खोलकर सुन ले दुश्मन, कितनी भी आतंकी चालें चल ले, ये भारत की सेना है जिसके हौसले कभी नहीं हारेंगे। तू करके देख दोबारा जरूरत, हम फिर से घर में घुस के मारेंगे और अब की पहले से ज्यादा अंदर घुस के पहले से ज्यादा मारेंगे। तैयारी अभी भी जारी है और अब की तैयारी पहले से ज्यादा भारी है।
एकदा जोरदार घोषणा देऊया, भारत माता की वंदे वंदे। भारतीय थल सेना वेस्टर्न कमांड यानी पश्चिमी कमान के सहयोग से हमने ये वीडियो क्लिप दिखाई थी। अब मैं रुद्र नैनोटेक प्राइवेट लिमिटेड के संचालक नितिन जी अग्रवाल को अपना मनोगत प्रकट करने हेतु आमंत्रित करती हूँ।
Namaste, honorable guests on the dais and in audience, and my dear friends. It's an honor to stand before the distinguished guests and speak. Operation Sindoor. What's the big hype about it? Yes, we did attack deep in enemy's territory. But what makes it so special? We all have heard about the best air defense systems. I believe 90% of us would unanimously say that it is Israeli Iron Dome. Iron Dome is a time-tested and proven missile system. In the recent Israel-Iran conflict, the Iron Dome intercepted about 90 to 93% of incoming 40 missiles, which had 12 whole minutes of reaction time. Not to mention the high budget that these systems have. In contrast to this, Pakistan attacked India using 300 to 400 Turkish drones and its own indigenous Fatah-1 and Fatah-2 missiles with speeds exceeding Mach 5. The main targets cities were Amritsar, Jalandhar, Chandigarh, Ludhiana, etc. All these cities were ranging between 50 to 200 kilometers from Pakistan border. Being at the disadvantage of the close proximity, the reaction time of our defense system was sometimes even less than a minute. But it is in the face of these adversities that one breaks from the current standards to create new ones. Within the swamp attack of more than 500 drones and missiles, we were able to neutralize most of them, giving us an overall accuracy of more than 99%. You can compare it with Iron Dome. One more distinguished feature in Akash system was the integration of advanced AI. The Akash system provided a multi-layered defense system that optimizes the use of resources. While other countries like US, Israel often rely on high-cost interceptor missiles for every little threat. Our Desi model has proven its ability to come up with cost-effective solutions while dealing with Pakistani misadventures. We Indians don't do anything without a little jugaad. For example, among the aerial defense systems that stood their ground were 40-year-old Soviet-era surface-to-air missile systems like Pachora and Osak. Anything that was detachable and reusable, such as radar transceivers, fire control processors, command modules, and data link terminals, were identified, tested, and reassigned wherever needed. This ensured that at least a portion of aging missile batteries remained functional and ready to intercept incoming threats. Just like an example, like ISRO sent a rocket to Moon or Mars at the cost of rickshaw bhada per kilometer. We all achieved this in Akash missile system as well. This AI driven innovation of India is not even found in Israel Iron Dome, which is apparently considered the best in the world. In conclusion, Operation Sindoor is a testimony for India's dominance in defense technology and the futuristic use of AI. This innovation places India ahead of its curve, ensuring that we not only we are not only just keeping pace with the global advancements, but we are setting benchmarks for the world to follow. Thank you. Jai Hind.
हम निवेदन करते हैं DRDO के वरिष्ठ संशोधक और आकाश मिसाइल के जनक तथा प्रकल्प निदेशक डॉक्टर प्रहलादा रामाराव सर से, जो हमारे आदर्श है और जिनको 2015 में भारत सरकार द्वारा पद्मश्री पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया गया था। हम डॉक्टर प्रहलादा रामाराव सर से विनम्र निवेदन करते हैं कि वो हमें अपने कार्य के बारे में बताए और भारत की मिसाइल शक्ति के बारे में हमें अवगत कराए। डॉक्टर प्रहलादा रामाराव सर।
General Khandare, my colleagues, friends, and all the enthusiastic young people here coming to this event. Namaste for all of you. You know, this is the second time coming, thanks to Ajay Deshpande and Nitin Agarwal, who have been a part of my family. And we never thought I will have a second option to come here. See, this is similar to when we took 15 years to make Akash missile. Because 10 years we have to do development of radar, of propulsion. It took 10 years to make a new radar, new propulsion. Then we took 5 years to show it, to verify performance. So 15 years we took. And for 15 years, all the families, I had 1,000 families working for Akash from all over the country, from north, south, east, west. 1,000 families have worked. So the credit goes to all 1,000 families who have stood behind these 1,000 scientists, engineers, technicians, administrative people, security people, everybody has contributed. That has come as a great news for us. In fact, when I was watching the TV, we all know that there is a war going on, but we never thought. On the TV I saw Akash missile very successfully stopped so many. I was really, for a minute I thought it is something out of the blue. I was just surprised what's happening. And my wife was there. She asked, "What is happening? Kya ho raha hai? Kya ho raha hai?" I said, "Wait." The one person I remember at that time, Dr. Abdul Kalam, because he was the one who not only made me the project leader, but he was supporting me, then telling me how to take correct decisions. Because I was a relatively young person, and most of my colleagues from laboratory like LRDE, R&D engineer, HM, they are all very senior people, older to me, more experienced. So I had to handle all of them to get the work done. So Kalam was there for support me. He said, "Don't worry, I am there with you." So this was the reason we took something world class. What the Army and Air Force told when we discussed with them is, Army said, "See, you should be able to take action by enemies who will bring multiple aircraft or unmanned air vehicle or drone. You should not hope that one missile have to attack one target." So Army said, "I want multiple target handling capability. That is same radar. I will have 10 missiles, 12 missiles along the border. All 12 missiles will go to 12 targets and simultaneously destroy." This is what the Army said, "I want." So we said, okay. Then Air Force demanded, see, normally you have a rocket motor. It goes for some time, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Then the motor is over, the propulsion is over. Then it will start coasting. The speed keeps on coming down. No, I don't like it. I want the speed to continue. Air Force said, "I want the missile speed not to be reduced." So we have to work a new propulsion called ramjet propulsion. There the missile is continuously thrusting all the way till the intercept takes place. That's what when Nitin said the accuracy comes because of the speed. If the speed is reduced, the maneuverability of the missile comes down. Therefore, you cannot kill the target with the same accuracy, same speed, agility, accuracy, lethality. So we have to keep a new propulsion. That took a lot of time because in the whole country, in India, the first time we made a radar called phased array radar, which will give the capability to simultaneously look at the air scenario, track multiple targets, and give the guidance to multiple missiles to go towards multiple targets. That is done by the phased array radar. That is developed by a laboratory in Bangalore called LRDE. So that was a big step upgradation of technology in the country. After this radar, we call it a Rajendra radar. Many phased array radars have been made for ground, for navy, for application. So it's one big step. Then second big step we did is ramjet propulsion. How to generate ramjet propulsion. That we did at Hyderabad, and we used the inputs from at least half a dozen academic institutions, Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, Kharagpur, Kanpur, to see how best we can do a ramjet propulsion. So that became our norm. Yes, a new norm, what they are telling. New normal is ramjet propulsion, phased array radar. These two big technologies we did. Now that ramjet propulsion, we are now going hypersonic. This missile we made supersonic. Next missile will make hypersonic. And in between we did BrahMos. See what happened, because I was very close to Dr. Kalam, he was having some affection. He was my boss, my leader, my guru, my mentor, whatever you call it. So when he became the president and went to Delhi, Then his position was vacant, that is program director for the integrated guided missile program. So then I was asked to take over that post what Dr. Kalam was having. So that gave me opportunity to talk about all missiles. You take BrahMos missile, how we made BrahMos missile for a long range attack, BrahMos missile. Akash as well, you know, defense, multiple target defense against enemy. Then we did the Agni missile, Prithvi missile, then Nag missile, then we did Astra missile, then we need the underwater submarine launch ballistic missile. The Navy will know how. They all, fortunately, I was lucky to be with Dr. Kalam and had the right time. For 27 years I worked with him to understand all technologies. Now what is the, see, now all of you are here in this hall because you are safe and secure. Your families are safe, your property is safe, your future is safe, employment is safe, outside is safe, secure. Unless you are safe and secure, nothing can be done in this world. That has been seen now. You take any country in war, you should be assured of a defense of the country. Border is safe. Once border is safe and nobody can attack you and come inside and you can go and attack them, then you have all the growth, development will take place, whether any field you take, industry, science, technology, defense, cultural programs, or even education, or anything you take, infrastructure. If India is to grow to become Vikasit, then we need, first is, we should have safety and security. So this is very important. We don't realize it because it is now we take it for granted. Oh, there is some police, there is some army, take care. But how does they work? We have seen now the foundation of good science, good technology is essential for the fighter, for the soldier to fight. He cannot go with a rifle, he needs modern technologies. So we have to develop science and technology parallelly to see that the force multiplier goes to the fighter, the army, air force, navy. They will have the better missiles. So we have now, you have seen Akash missile. You have seen Agni will be there. We didn't use because it is strategic and we don't want to use the first strategic missile unless we are triggered by somebody. No first use by India. Then we have made a submarine launch. We have got submarine launch and we had submarines near the border of our adversary ready. We didn't use purposefully because we wanted to achieve whatever we want to achieve, we have achieved. But we have the power, capability to withstand the strike and counter strike anybody, anywhere in the world. This is the strength we got. Therefore, you are all safe, secure, comfortable, happy, and we are all enjoying the freedom of a free India, developed India. Further Vikasit Bharat will happen. So this is what I want to. We have seen what the country has got in new science and new technology. Tomorrow we are now talking about drone. You were telling the war picture has changed. We had more fighters with pilots fighting in a fighter aircraft. But we don't know. Tomorrow's war may be a different scenario. We may be unmanned drones or unmanned combat aircraft, which no pilot, unmanned, and we should be able to defend. We need maybe beam weapons, laser weapons, microwave beam weapons. We may need totally different technology to counter such a attack which may take place. Because we have seen India is growing in all spheres, technology, economy, military, medicine. You take, India is growing. So many people don't like it. There are many people who are feeling jealous. How can they do it when they were earlier being ruled by somebody else? And so we have to be ready to be facing unexpected threats like it has happened. So fortunately, we have shown, and this demonstration of Operation Sindoor not only helped the services to fight and say we can withstand any attack and counter-attack we can do, but see the industries. Some 400 to 500 industries have worked for the missile program. They are producing the missile components, subsystems, assembly, testing, training. Now anybody has a missile, life will be at least 30 years. So 30 years there is a business assured by at least 500 industries in the country for continuously the economy is growing, the employment opportunities is assured for 30-40 years. So this is a great input to the country both in employment as well as in economy. Now because of this, what has happened last 20-30 years, see, I recently went to Hyderabad, the number of small scale industries. Hyderabad I have been, Pune I have been, then Bangalore I have been, Chennai I have been. Most of the small scale industries are exporting subsystems for military, for all over the world. Europe, many countries are coming to India to place order for subsystem. I went to a company making communication, making a computer. He said, which country? I am making this for Israel, I am making this for Italy. That means these 500 industries who work for defense are not only getting the business from Indian Army, Indian Air Force, Indian Navy, they are getting directly orders from various countries because we have established good technology, good quality, highly cost effective. Why are they coming? Because cost effective. Akash missile is almost 1/10 of similar missile available anywhere in the world. 1/10. We cost, suppose we say it costs 3 crores, somebody will cost 30 crores. One missile. This is the cost difference. And the development cost what we have put for Akash is 500 crores. If you take a similar Patriot missile, which is of lower specification than Akash, done in USA, it is 50,000 crores. So we are 1/10 to 1/20th of the investment in the world. Cost is 1/3 to 1/5 to 1/10. So we are in a very fortunate position to see that we become a big industry complex, military industry complex. Same thing will happen because once you have a technology for military, it goes to all over. It doesn't stop only military. It goes to the infrastructure, it goes to technology, business, it goes to healthcare, it goes to agriculture. Wherever you want, it can go. So the complete economy of the country will change, scenario will change because of this experience of last 20-30 years. And thanks to the initiative by Dr. Kalam, who I remember when he went to Delhi for a presentation in 1983, he went to presentation along with secretaries and all. And we were all young boys and girls sitting and doing some calculation, some model and all. So we know he has gone to Delhi to present to the committee about future. Because the government of India took a decision that we should not import any more missiles, rockets. And in 1983, whatever arms and ammunition and weapons all the three services had, all were imported, either from Europe or from Russia or from USA. Zero from India. But where are we today? We have come a long way. Thanks to that missile program committee in 1983, they went to present. At that time, Mr. Venkatraman was the defense minister, and Dr. Arunachalam was the secretary, and Kalam was he had joined DRDO from ISRO because he was hand-picked for doing missile systems. Then they went and presented. See, those days, missile, any project, we used to get 10 crores, 15 crores, 20 crores, something like that. It's a big money in 1983. So they had put a proposal 350 crores. That we were all surprised, sir, who will give 350 crores? We all were, it's a joke. So, but they went and presented, and they said we want to make 5 missiles, 4 missiles, Akash, Prithvi, Nag, and Trishul. Then 5th is Agni for a strategic. So we are given. So they are waiting outside, and the committee was sitting inside with Raksha Mantri, all the senior defense officers. So they were, I believe they are discussing, shall we get at least 2 projects? Because we asked 5 projects, 350 crores. Actually, shall we get 2 projects? It's sufficient, 100 crores. I think we have done our visit to Delhi is successful. If we get 2 projects, 100 crore. This is what they had told. But Venkatraman came out and told the 2 gentlemen sitting outside, we want to decide, we have decided to give you all the 5. Will you be able to handle? They did not know what to say because they were expecting 100 crore. He says, I'll 350 crores I am giving you. Can you handle it? They were shocked. Yes, sir, of course. I told. Though, so this is how it started, 1983. And we have come a long way. We are a force to reckon with in the world. Globally, they have been recognized as a force military industrial complex is established. Our capabilities of the armed forces demonstrated. Our science and technology in the industry is also completely acknowledged. And I am happy to be in front of all of you to share that how country has moved last 30 years. And you are all party to it. And we expect all of you, your children, grandchildren will be working for the country and take the country to a Vikasit Bharat. See what happened, I had recently a small discussion. What should be, what we should do if we want to be part of Vikasit Bharat? What you can do, I can do. This is a question. You want to join military or you want to learn technology, what is you are supposed to do? Nothing is required. See, you are all doing whatever you are doing. Some may be a teacher, somebody may be a lawyer, somebody may be a doctor, somebody may be a general. You are doing. Whenever you are doing a job, just pause for 5 seconds and think, is it good for Bharat? If it is good for Bharat, go ahead. If not good, don't do it. This is the only mantra that we have evolved. You just think for 2 minutes, I am doing something good for the country, go ahead. Otherwise, don't do it. Irrespective of what profession you are having, this is all that is required. So I am happy for both Ajay and Nitin to somehow roped me to come. To come here, and I am very happy to meet General Khandare. I used to see him on TV, so I am happy to see him. The real man who fights. So he is an infantry soldier. They are real fighters. They go to the front and fight. We are all in the background writing software and e-questions. But it's a good combination, and I thank all of you for sparing your time. And also, this meeting I dedicated to all the family members of all our DRDO scientists. Thank you very much.